Salvo 19. My name is Larry Lee Slott. I'm a molecular biologist and a quantum physicist. I want to build a great bridge. I call my bridge the Pontibus. My reasons for wanting to build this bridge are many. One of the main reasons is because I am concerned at the rapid descent of our civilization into madness. As the human race grows more demented, we grow ever closer to eventual suicide and extinction. One of the main reasons for our collective dementia is the low molecular oxygen partial pressure. We evolved in a world where oxygen levels were much higher. The environment that bathes our nerve cells now is too reduced. It's driving us crazy. The neurons in our brains are responsible for translating universal consciousness into imagination and thought, among other responsibilities. Before the Industrial Revolution, each nerve cell was accustomed to having sufficient oxygen to synapse many thousands of times per second. That is no longer so. As we kill oceanic chloroplasts, the green engines of oxygen, we are also destroying the few remaining rainforests on land. Our nerve cells are starving for oxygen. Without oxygen, we are chemically energy deficient. That means we are also reducing every minute our capacity to think and imagine correctly. Christians, Muslims, and other psychotic believers in the God monster are nearly half the population of this planet. Because they do not respect reason, they cannot assess or understand our ecological situation accurately. It does not much concern them. Aware of the increasing atmospheric carbon problem, nevertheless, it does not bother them as much as it does thinking people. One might ask, why are these people so callous and ignorant? They like to believe that the effects of such problems will not occur in their lifetimes. Global warming and the effects of sea level rise are problems with which their progeny must deal. A new car, next month's rent, a nice bottle of Cabernet are more important to them than an acidified ocean. They simply kick the can down the road and move on to more pleasurable distractions. They have abdicated their responsibilities to creation and future generations. Consumption has suborned their biological morality. This custodial mandate error springs from the non-thinking nature of believer beings. Martin Luther said, reason is the greatest enemy faith has. He was speaking about faith in the God monster, and I think he was right. Faith itself is not the anathema. It is faith's cynosure that matters. The crux of the problem is due to uncontrolled human reproduction and mitochondrial biology. Hundreds of these little post-purple bacteria inhabit every cell in our bodies. These endosymbionts use oxygen to burn hydrogen and produce chemical energy. The chemicals that make up the energy molecules, ATP, GTP, etc., are the same molecules as contain information our DNA uses to control us while building and repairing itself. DNA also uses these energy chemicals to empower the deciphering of messages from a universal consciousness produced by entropy nearly 14 billion years ago. The low oxygen and reduced environment in our brains contaminates our bodies along with our DNA and consciousness receiving and elucidating apparati. Stupidity due to lack of mental energy is growing. It combines with DNA repair deficiencies to produce a negative synergy which is driving our society's madness. Without sufficient molecular oxygen, our mitochondria are not capable of producing adequate energy to supply optimally functioning neurons. The mitochondria in our bodies produce a great deal of ATP every day. We can use much more than we produce, however. Evolutionarily, molecular oxygen partial pressure has been directly proportional to biological diversity. Even a few pounds less per day has measurable effects. Look at the molecular oxygen curve versus biological diversity record over geological time. It's easy to see how reducing oxygen pressure removes survival potential. Those of you that understand basic electronics will know of that which I now speak. To make a light bulb glow, you need four things: two wires, a bulb, and a power source. The wires must be connected correctly to the power source and the bulb. If either of the two wires burns up so that the circuit is not complete, it is known as an open circuit, and the bulb will not glow. Religious people are like an open circuit. They pray and have faith that the light bulb will glow, but it never does. The circuit is open for them. The brains of religious people are contaminated by psychosis and paralyzed by fear. They are much weaker than the rest of us. These believers are slavery prone, Kaderi wealth hoarders. Many are so sick they even pray for a nuclear war. They call it Armageddon and are dragging us down into their miasma of negative selection fitness. They cannot think well and ignore the madness they are perpetuating. This low oxygen mediated stupidity creates a vicious cycle that promulgates more killing of oxygen producers and less mental energy. This in turn causes more killing ad infinitum. The dementia grows ever more prevalent. My bridges need people of vision. If religious people could but change the direction of their beliefs, they could put their faith and prayer to better use. Adjusting their faith focus, praying to an evidence-based universal consciousness, they could also believe in my vision. The light bulb in my circuit analogy would grow brightly. An evidence-based critical thinking pro-environmental cathexis includes faith in my Pontibus vision. Pascal said, faith affirms many things, respecting which the senses are silent, but nothing which they deny. It is superior to their testimony, but never opposed to it. We can save the human race and planetary life from further madness and eventual extinction, but first we must believe we can. Thank you for your kind attention.